Hello.
Hi there, and welcome to episode 5
of Evolv The Podcast.
There's a lot that goes on before we start rolling, so...
There is. We have to finish our conversations and our catch-up, and we finally sit down and start to record our podcast. Do we have to introduce ourselves anymore, you reckon, or do people know us?
Oh, no, let's do it.
All right, who are you?
I'm Andrea.
No, you're not.
That's right, I'm Julie.
Julie Saunders, ex-Fury from Gladiators. Very intimidating woman. And I'm Andrea, Waycott, radio host and Julie's fitness slave.
Not yet, but soon to be.
Julie is helping me on my fitness journey. But this week, we're not going to talk about my fitness journey. No. We're going to talk about yours.
Well, my fitness journey, I think more what's been going on for the last 2 weeks. I think we talked about doing a day in the life of, but it was a pretty packed week.
Tricky.
So we kind of extended it over the whole fortnight.
Which I think is better anyway, because we get a more macro view of what's going on.
Using the word macro.
I like that word. Macronutrients. See, I'm really starting to absorb this fitness stuff.
I like it.
We're also, in this episode, going to be talking about childhood food trauma and how that has affected us as we've become adults.
Yes, we've shared a few stories and we found out that we have some common traumas in our past.
And I'm pretty sure some people out there will have them as well.
I think so too.
And we did promise you a What's the Gym, and we have 2 things to cover.
Yes, we do.
One Julie likes, one Julie doesn't.
Yeah, I think one's got some cred and the other one, not so much.
Not so much.
But we'll have a look.
Yeah, all right. So how about we take a look at this week in the life of Julie Saunders / Fury.
How very scary.
Ole. So I'm guessing if I said to you, Julie, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you slept most of the week, didn't really move much, versus 10, you were as busy as a bee, where are we at on the busy scale for you over the past week?
It's a complete hive.
You're the queen bee.
It's been a wonderful week, but it has been extremely busy this week. Yeah.
I would imagine.
But a good busy.
Yeah. But let's keep that in mind when I ask you the next few questions, because we'll forgive you if there's any mistakes in there, because you're supposed to be the pillar of fitness, health, good eating, all that stuff.
Water.
But I think we're about to prove that
hydration and sleep.
Even the queen bee can mess up from time to time, yes?
Well, don't know about mess up.
Righto. So let's talk about your eating.
Yep.
Have any cravings this week? I know the answer to this, so she better be honest.
We have spoken about this off air. So, yes, my eating habits this week have been predominantly good.
80-20?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the 20 was a fairly big slip this week.
Let's talk about that.
I was tired and hungry. I get like sooky. So
I just wanted a chocolate teddy bear.
I did. I wanted not only one, I had the whole picnic.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I do advocate having some dark chocolate. In fact, I will prescribe.
I love the way you sit up and you start to be very professional when you say, I advocate dark chocolate.
I do. I just don't advocate the biscuit inside of it.
Or a whole packet.
Yeah, my go-to is still in my, immaturity, chocolate teddy bear biscuits, which does date back to something in childhood, which we will talk about later.
Oh, yeah, please, because I've heard this story and I love it. But it's really good that you did that, Jules, because I was going to poke you and see if you bled and if you were human. And in fact, you are, because you ate a whole packet of teddy bear biscuits.
And some chocolate.
So tell me then, let's put those chocolate biscuits aside. What was the best meal that you ate? Like the healthiest, the one that you would say your clients should be eating most of the time?
For me, it's pretty much, and I know it sounds a bit boring, but chicken.
Chicken's a great
I
great
eat
meat.
quite a lot of chicken.
Yeah.
So, I'm eat healthy pretty much every day, other than the biscuits. So yes, I'd say just look. Chicken had a really nice chicken salad, and which sounds really boring, but it's what you do with the salad that counts.
It's all the extra things you add. I love it when you go to America and you order a salad, but they like throw that much cheese and that much dressing and everything else.
It's often the dressing that kills it. And you know what? It's so full of sugar. But anyway, we'll talk about that in another time.
Salads.
So
Paraders salads.
So chicken. But one of my favourite things that I ate this week, and as I was saying to you, we're not sponsored by them, is I had a Nando's chicken pitta.
Oh, they're so good.
They're the best. And I'm out and about a lot. I leave early and I'm home late, and I just I'm in love with them. They're my fast food.
Where I live, there's no Nando's near me.
Well,
it's a crime. I'm moving. I'm moving.
You need to. It is a crime. So the lemon and herb pitta for me. You're more brave. You've gone the spicy.
I go the peri peri. I like it. And as I mentioned to you, my tolerance for spice has really gone up over the last decade of my life. So I started at the lemon and herb, and now I'm sort of slowly working my way up. I reckon I'm at the second hottest one now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck at lemon and herb.
So, all right, so that's pretty healthy. If you had to do fast food, Nando's is one of the healthier ones. Just don't have the chips. But then you miss out on the Pyrenees, which is a crime.
It is. To missing out on their chips is a crime, but I didn't buy them.
Yeah, fair enough. That's restraint right there. It's got restraint. What was the worst meal you had to cough up on the dinner table during your busy week?
The most unhealthy this week was actually last night. I was extremely tired and got home at about 10 or 11 o'clock last night. And I looked at the fridge, and I often go by date.
And what's going to expire first? I love it.
We were right on the cusp with some Vietnamese spring rolls that I threw in there. Well, my daughter actually threw in the air fryer for me. So I consumed them, and I must say, whilst they weren't particularly super unhealthy, I didn't feel great after them.
No, you probably needed to have a salad with them to make you feel better.
I think I just needed not to have them.
Well, between that or not eating and going to bed hungry, would you always say eat something?
For me, yes.
Yes.
Look, I'm not a big meal eater at night. I think over the years I sort of conditioned. I eat throughout the day, and I snack, and I love food. So I definitely eat all day. So by the time I get to night time, I'm not starving.
No, really?
Yeah, no, not generally.
Oh,
other than chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate. You've kind of consumed some healthy snacks along the way.
I have.
What is a healthy snack for you?
Probably protein shake, banana.
She's always
protein
got a
bar.
shake with her.
Yeah.
And it makes her gassy. Sorry, was I not meant to share that?
Protein can make you gassy, yes.
And if you had to pick one highlight from the week, what was it?
Other than my chocolate teddy bear biscuits.
Oh, that's my highlight of the week, learning that you ate a whole packet. But what was your highlight?
It sounds a bit corny, but it's the clients. And I had one particular client this year, a new client that's come on board, and very new, and has trained before, but is struggling with a number of things. And I find that rewarding, the fact that they really want to change their lives, and they're committed to it. And, I find that inspiring myself. So that's really a highlight. I get a kick out of training each and every one of my clients. They're all different. They've all got different needs. They've all got different things going on in their lives.
Yeah.
And then, you get someone who comes in who's really in need of a change, and this is with health issues. So I'd have to say that in particular. Yeah.
Do you get sad when you lose a client?
Sometimes you have a really good rapport and relationship with them, and they might move away, or
or it might be just financial, or
sometimes
work related, or whatever.
But I found, and I was talking to you about this before, that that you'll find it's changed a lot over probably the last 20 years. 20 years ago, it was a revolving door. They would come and go. And
no loyalty.
Well, I'd say possibly not. I think that was just, it was the 90s. There's a lot going on in the 90s and, early 2000. And then COVID, my always go-to, which is the positive in every negative, which is people had time to reflect on, their own.
And started doing more, so started realising the benefits for it.
Yeah. Or drunk their way through COVID and decided, oh, shit, I better do something about this. So I had a few of those.
It wasn't me.
So, I think that now they often, if they go, it's for very different reasons. It'll be they have a work project on or something like that. And then you'll find that they'll come back. And so they're more invested in themselves, which is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it is good. All right. Well, thank you for sharing your week, and we will do more on social media. We appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to do the vids and the pics because you're busy, and I know it wasn't asked.
You know how much I love doing photos.
Yeah, it usually takes her half an hour to get ready for a photo, but anyway,
not in this case. That is why I really don't like it.
Well, we look forward to seeing them, so make sure you're following us. All right, shall we talk about the trauma that was our childhood and some of the food things that have happened to us then that we are still hanging on to today?
I am still traumatised.
Childhood food trauma baggage.
It's a thing.
Being a child, eating weird things, smelling weird things, we're very sensory when we're children, right? Touching, smelling, tasting. And we've got scars.
Well, we've got scars, and some of those were forced upon us.
I know.
Yeah.
We have a shared scar.
Yes.
It was so funny. One day, Jules and I were chatting about things that we just couldn't stand the smell of. And she launches into this story.
Yeah. My mother, why would she do this? And my poor mother, she's absolutely, God rest her soul, she is the salt of the earth. Everyone loved her. She was kind. She invited everyone in. She was just a beautiful, beautiful country woman. But a chef she was not. A chef she was not. And I don't know where this came from. I think it was a Good Friday thing.
It might have been around Easter we were.
Yeah, I think it was a Good Friday thing for us. But it was, I would walk into the house and there was this awful smell of boiled cod. And so it was orange fish too. I don't even know how it could be that orange.
I don't think it starts orange. I think it kind of finishes orange, isn't it?
I don't know, but
it's disgusting.
I can tell you that I did not eat seafood, and this is an absolute truth, until I was about 21 or 22 years old. I had flown the coop and finally got into Melbourne and decided that everyone else seemed to be eating seafood.
Maybe it's not so bad.
Yeah, that's right. But it was it put me off for years.
And when you told me that story, I was having flashbacks to my 70s styled kitchen back then.
Yes, the tiles.
There was a lot of like tiles and
the lino
orange light shades and
that fake wood, the brown, the dark. Yeah.
And the smell of cod.
And the smell of cod, it was awful.
It was an Easter thing. Or I know around our place, you're not supposed to eat meat on certain days, so they would bring out this cod and it stank and I would have to literally go outside, and it turned me off seafood for my whole life. Like, I don't eat seafood.
Well, even now.
I do not. And my mother used to take me to
That's actually criminal.
The Croydon market. And she'd park down one end, and to get to the all fun stuff, you had to walk through the seafood section.
Yes.
And I would literally have to hold my breath and say to my mother, I'll catch you at the other end, and like run through.
It's a bit of a sensory nightmare.
Oh, the smell of seafood. Anything that smells like that should be thrown away, not eaten.
Yeah, I know. It's not so good. I remember going to the fish markets in Sydney, and they were amazing. And by that stage, I did eat seafood, but it wasn't my favourite place to go.
Like oysters, what is with that?
Oh, no, I think they're good. Although I think you're either someone who just, excuse this, but you're either someone who swallows or chews.
Yeah. And I don't understand why you would just swallow it, right? Because if you're going to eat something, generally you should chew it. Otherwise, you're not even tasting it, right?
Maybe for those of us that do that, that's the point. I don't know. Perhaps that's why we load it up with bacon.
And that, I just reckon you're cheating when you do that. Is that oysters Kilpatrick? Is that what that's called?
Yes, and you can't say because you don't eat it.
I have tried it.
And?
I did. I went to a staff Christmas party one year and I thought, right, I'm so going to do this oyster thing. And I did one, and I kid you not, you know, like when you watch
Chew or swallow?
it's like when you watch I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and they're eating something like a
Worm
pig's nose or something, and you know the dry retching. That was me with an oyster.
Oh, nice.
And I finally
how palatable for everyone around you.
I finally got it down, and then about half an hour later, I thought, you know what, maybe that was just all in my head, the psychological.
Oh, you went again?
I went again. Same reaction. And I went, this stuff is not for me. Anything that crawls along the bottom of an ocean.
I'm pretty sure.
Eats other fish poo.
I'm pretty sure that by that time they had barred you from any of the seafood.
I was just like, stuff it. I'll stick to gin.
Yes, not something that we advocate here on the podcast.
That is so funny. And earlier, you were talking about your whole packet of chocolate Tim Tams just to change
teddy bear
topics.
biscuits.
Yes, teddy bears, not Tim Tams. That's my addiction.
We weren't wealthy enough to have the Tim Tams, and I don't know if they were around then. In fact, we weren't wealthy enough to have the chocolate on the teddy bear biscuit.
I mean, the teddy bear biscuit was one of the cheaper ones.
Yeah.
You guys were like POV.
Yeah, that's right. We were.
Not to be mean.
But we were happy.
POV.
We didn't have a lot, and I didn't realise we didn't have a lot until we got to school and people started wearing all these, funky shoes, that whatever the funky meant back then.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, I think these Dunlops are not going to cut it.
The Kmart K26s.
Yes, exactly. I don't even know what they were called.
Yeah.
I don't even know whether they were Kmart. I probably got them at Coles.
Yeah.
But we didn't have the chocolate covered biscuits, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't a health choice from my mother.
No.
So, but the boy next door, he did, and I used to bribe him. We had a sandpit. My dad did, however, build us an amazing sandpit with. We had monkey bars. It was concrete into the ground. Dad was in building an excavation, so it was like something that you get in a playground, for a public playground. And I would say to him that he could come and play in the sandpit if he went and got me teddy bear biscuits.
And he
chocolate
did.
Covered.
But he was probably just like,
and
had a little crush on you and, oh, yes, Julie, ran back with his little biscuits.
I think he was more scared, to be honest. And I apologise to him now. Wherever you may be, I do apologise.
That's so funny.
And I owe you about 10 packets.
That is so
and
funny.
I've carried that over into my adult life. They are still one of my.
I was going to say that's your Achilles heel.
My go-to. I can afford them now.
Do you know what my Achilles heel is? I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's Macca's.
Is it?
It is, because we never really had it much when we were kids.
Yeah.
Because Dad used to call it secondhand food.
Oh, why?
Well, he used to think it was rubbish. It was secondhand food.
Got it. Yeah.
So when Dad would go away for work or something like that.
It is rubbish. Dad was right.
Yeah, Mum would be like, let's have McDonald's. And I'd be like, yeah, let's have McDonald's.
But, there's a thing. There's sensationalising, really crap food.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we did too. Everyone did. That was your reward. I used to swim, and the the irony here, after it we would go to McDonald's that had sort of just been established wherever it is back then. We would go there after swimming, and that's what and Dad used to wheel me in. I didn't even like it at all, and I still don't. But he would wheel me in to say that 2 all beef patty, special sauce, loaded cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, so he could get a free one. And I would think, the only thing I like from here is the sundae.
Oh no, I used to fall for the Happy Meal toys and stuff. Like I used to have to collect them, and my mum would help me. Like if it was the Muppets or something,
you go collect them all.
I'd be like, Mum, we've got to have Macca's again because look, we get the Muppet thing if we get a Happy Meal.
Do you know what? I hate to say that. I did that a bit with my children too, and that's terrible coming from me. If I was honest, there'd be like a run on something that they were really into, and you'd go back until you kind of hopefully got them all.
Yeah, well, my mum used to. We used to go to Weight Watchers, right? And I'm talking, I was young. I was a teenager. So let's talk about body shaming when you're a kid, when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
But my mum had me at Weight Watchers. And
How old were you?
I was probably about 13.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, man, she had me at Jenny Craig before that. Like, I've my whole life, my mother has very much watched our weight. My sister was the same.
Your mother is lovely.
She is a lovely woman, and she didn't mean ill by it.
Well, I suppose that was, what do I do?
That's how she grew up, You had to be slim, and she did, slimming clubs and Dr. Atkins. And I remember my mother sitting down to half a grapefruit and maybe some cottage cheese all day. Like she was, that was her world. And I think really she thought life is harder when you're bigger and you don't look like everyone else. And she was trying to make our lives easier.
And there is, an increment of truth in that, because, you tend to be judged by the people. I mean, you think back at school.
Yeah.
So you would toddle off to Weight Watchers at 13?
Yeah, 13. And if we lost weight, we would go get ourselves a Big Mac.
Oh, stop it. Really?
Yeah, no, for serious.
Oh, okay. Your mum.
And if we put on weight, we'd
mum.
console ourselves by going to get a Big Mac.
Andrea.
I know. See, this is what I'm saying. Parents, you really are shaping your kids.
And, it doesn't all fall. Andrea.
I know. And
I'm going to have a chat to your mum.
My mum, and yet my mum has the audacity to blame my friend Jess that I'm overweight, because when I used to go to school.
Classic projection.
I feel like I'm spilling out all my childhood secrets, but Jess always had money. Her parents always gave her money for the canteen. They didn't make lunch so much as, gave her cash. And so she'd come to the canteen with me. Okay. She'd go, do you want a meat pie? And I'd be like, yeah. And I'd just eaten a sandwich that my mum had made me.
But you couldn't get the meat pie, so...
I couldn't get the meat pie, but she bought it for me.
Why was she buying it for you?
I think it was to relieve her own guilt for eating that stuff.
Was she getting a meat pie as well?
She was getting a meat pie as well.
She was cashed up.
She was. Just, woohoo, let's go spend up
meat pies for everyone. So your mum,
milky bars are on, Jess.
So your mum blames.
So my mum
her.
used to always say, you weren't overweight until you started hanging out with Jess.
Oh, poor Jess. I think
Jess, if you're listening, I'm sorry, Mum blames you.
Yeah, this is like it's like confessional here today.
Not that my mother had anything to do with it.
No, not at all.
Big Macs, Weight Watchers.
Rewards or commiserations.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. There's a couple of reasons why perhaps I have a few things to work through.
Yeah,
when it comes to body image and weight. And I'm also really conscious of what I do to my son because, I'm a parent who learnt from a parent. So I've got to watch it
and break the cycle. I agree.
Yeah.
I as I said to you, I would take my children. They wanted nuggets, and they were happy, and there were a number of things happening in their lives. So you then
soothe
with
food.
They would associate that with being happy, and
it's called a happy meal for a reason.
Is it though?
Makes you happy.
But yeah, we all fall prey to it, and you've got that that amazing marketing that they do around food. Sensationalizing it, make you happy.
Yep. Sell the sizzle, not the sausage.
Sell the dream. Yeah. So I think that there did come a time for me where I said, we have to stop this and break this cycle. And I'm lucky because my children got on board with that.
Yeah.
Because it did at one stage kind of get out of control. I thought that would make them happy with things that were going on, and it did, but. Obviously, in my line of work, it's a bit of hypocrisy.
Can't be like shoving Mars bars into your kid and then be like, okay, let's all eat well. Yeah. Let's all do this.
Yeah.
No, I understand. But it is one of those things when it comes to your kids, I'm really trying to make sure that I'm talking about balance and being healthy as opposed to how I look, because I know it was purely cosmetic with my mother. It wasn't about my health. It was about...
He looked.
Yeah.
But I think
fit into those jeans that your friends can wear.
It's awful, really, isn't it? But that's how they grew up. Yeah. And again, I think to an extent marketing is responsible.
Magazines, women's magazines. It was all diets and how
you think back to, their age and what was fed to them, so to speak.
Yeah. Women were sex symbols and you were nothing unless you were hot stuff, Benny Hill kind of lady running around in your jocks.
I don't know whether the ladies run around in their jocks in Benny Hill. There was a little man that did.
I just
bald head.
And I remember my dad just sitting there laughing his
mine
head off.
too.
He loved it.
Exactly. It was awful. I didn't like it at all.
Didn't like it
and
either.
I know where it came on. Dad would be roaring with laughter over it, and I used to think this is awful.
Yeah, and then I know in the 80s things started to change. It started. They tried to, movies and things like that. They tried to portray women as working and stronger and things, but it took a very long time to get to where we are today, which is we don't talk about kids' weight. We don't talk about BMIs on kids. They don't weigh you anymore at school.
Yes, I know. Remember they used to do that. That was awful. Remember lining up for that.
Oh.
And you know, and I'm not being a smarty pants here. Like for me, I would stand there. I was you know into sport and doing all those things. I never gave a thought to that. But you know, there were other people who that would have been just
Let me tell you, speaking as a overweight young lady, I went to an all girls school in Canterbury, and they lined us up and put us on the scales. And I just remember...
in front of each other too.
In front of each other. Now, you wouldn't necessarily yell out your weight, like they would write it down and you'd have it in your hand. But the first thing all your friends are doing is comparing their weight.
Oh, yes. What did you weigh?
What do you weigh? What did you weigh? And like, I just wanted to shrivel up and die.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk about it.
It's terrible. It's a bit like, I was saying to you, it's a bit, we're talking about sport at one stage, and it's a bit like being picked last for sport, when they used to let the other children choose. And, it's not that long ago, my children were in school where that was happening, you know, and I actually went down to the school and said, this is archaic behaviour. It's traumatising to children. You need to stop. And you know what? They did.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, you made some real change.
Yeah, put the fury pants on.
That Gladiator mum came in. Oh my God!
Yeah,
nobody get kids to pick teams.
I was a bit fired up about it because it did piss me off.
Yeah,
it really did. I didn't like it at all, and I just think that was the wrong thing to do. But they did listen.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. Change. It's nice to see it can happen.
And we need more of it, I think. There's things that still happen, and I think educating people on adults, parents, on their how their food choices, and reward systems or punishments around food really have both a physical and emotional effect.
I think that is an education process, you're right, because there's things that you can teach people on how to phrase things and how to talk about things without making too many mistakes, you hope. I mean, it'll take you 30 years to figure out if you really mess your kid up, right? We're all hoping that that's not the case.
Yeah, but there are some obvious things that happen, around food choices. And it's really, even pushing that, as a parent, you feel like you want to make your child happy through food.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that we have. But to walk down those aisles and choose things to drop into your, shopping trolley that have a positive effect doesn't necessarily make you the most popular mum.
No. But the buck stops with us as parents. If it's not available in your cupboard, they can't eat it.
No.
But then I worry, what if I deprive him and then he'll be like, we never had that. And then he goes binging on it when he gets freedom and money.
In actual fact, that did happen to me. So I never, I don't like it anyway. I never had soft drink at home. We had juice, which is full of sugar anyway, but it was predominantly water.
Yeah.
Where my daughter got to an age where she could, flex the individuality and say, I'm going to have a soft drink.
Yeah.
And she went through a period of just wanting that. And it was, I thought then, oh my gosh, I've actually created this.
Yeah. Because you deprived.
Yeah. And I didn't intentionally do it. I mean, I did. I know it's unhealthy, so I didn't buy it. But when she asked for it, when we were out, I would say no, where I probably should have filter fed it a little bit just to say, talk to her about the healthy choice, say, you can have one when you're out. But then for me, that was the reward thing. And we just come out of the McDonald's thing. So I felt like, I had to be quite rigid.
Yeah.
But there again, there is a process that, can be quite conflicting.
Yeah. We were always about, we like the bubbles. So we kind of pointed out what we liked about the soda, sort of soft drinks.
Yeah.
And for us, it was bubbles. So we have a Soda Stream at home.
I know. I was just going to say those who went to Soda Stream, and
they're great.
See, we couldn't have done that. We didn't have enough money. So the best we would have got is probably a glass of water and a straw.
Did your parents ever have a cocktail bar?
They did eventually have one of those ones that they were dangerous, those things apparently.
Those little bomb things that you used to...
you would screw into it, and if you didn't tighten it up properly, that thing could take your eye out.
I'm trying to think what it was called. A siphon or something. I saw one in an antique shop the other day, and I was pointing
I know
it out to
exactly
Fletcher.
what you mean. Yeah.
That was the closest you got to bubbles back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Although my dad used to have chocolate and Coke, put it in the fridge, and then tell everyone not to touch it.
And did you?
Oh, you'd open the bottle of Coke, have a quick little swig, put the lid back on, you'd never notice,
See,
right?
that's what we used to do too.
Yeah.
So if there was something like that was bought for something special, there were three of us, and we would all
take a swig. So then it starts getting
but
noticeable.
we weren't doing it. That's right. But we weren't doing it, collectively.
Yeah.
We weren't discussing it. There was no communication.
Yeah.
So we actually got caught out by the fact that we were all having a little go at it.
Same.
Until
There
it got
was
to
three
the
of us.
point where, it was quite obvious, as you say, and then it was like, oh, shit. We're actually in trouble.
Old Jamaican chocolate. We used to leave that because it was like, ew, it was rum and raisin. Like,
and that was like Turkish delight. Yet I like those
now I'm
rum and raisin.
addicted to rum and raisin.
Yeah, same.
It's the no's that make them yeses, as adults.
I reckon it's just the rum for you.
I can just go and drink real rum. I'm a grown up.
That's right. You can make your own
Captain
decision.
Morgan. Don't mind a Captain Morgan. It was a USA friend who put me onto that, and now I feel like a pirate every time I drink it. It's just so much fun.
You are.
All right. Well, yes, I think that has clarified some of the childhood scars that have carried
I
through
must
to
say,
adulthood.
although we've talked a lot about it, there's one other childhood scar for me with food, which I've carried through until today, which is
Until today.
Still today, I cannot do it, and that is fruit in a main course.
Oh, get out.
The main culprit being apricot chicken.
I blame Margaret Fulton because I reckon it was in her cookbook.
You know what? I think you're right.
Bloody Margaret Fulton.
Because that is just...
My mother did it too. What is with fruit and meat? The only, and I mean the only time you can do fruit and meat is on a pizza, and that's pineapple with ham. That's the only time.
You know what? I can't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's that bad.
That's that bad. It's gone that deep.
But that apricot chicken, I mean, there was something so wrong about that.
So sweet, so gluggy. I don't know what it was. It is a dry reach material.
Mum would do it with rice. Did your mum do it with rice?
No, I think she had, I'm not sure what she had in it. You know what? I just like,
the smell.
And you know how much I like chicken.
Yeah.
It's just,
and you like apricots.
I do. I actually do like apricots. I
but
love
just
them.
not chicken and apricots.
Oh, it is just horrendous. Send us in if you're traumatized by apricot chicken. We might be able to help you.
We want to know. I would love to know what traumatized people growing up, because there would be so many dishes their parents forced them to eat.
And I think we can probably, either remember them or identify with them. But it has it shaped some of my future.
If you've got some great childhood food memories, please let them come into us, and we will talk about them in one of the upcoming episodes. We would love that. We don't want to be alone.
We'll work through this together.
It wasn't just you and me, Jules. I know it. Welcome to What the Gym.
What the gym?
Let's talk about what you're doing here.
Go back the other way. Look at me
Unwind yourself.
That's right. This is a what the
You
gym.
look like a female Elvis impersonator.
Yeah.
Oh.
One for the money.
All right, stop doing that. Grab your chair.
I will.
What you have just witnessed is the weighted hula hoop.
Yeah.
Now, Jules, you actually think this has some cred to it.
I'm a bit of a fan, actually. I think if hula hooping's your thing, or you want something novel to do, I think that, this is a fun thing to do. It gets you up out of the chair.
Yeah, my 80-year-old mum can do it.
Yeah. And did you have fun?
She had so much fun. Except
Doing
she
it?
didn't have a bra on, so she wouldn't let me. Well, you do need a bra.
I don't think our mums have copped it today.
My poor mum. I'm so glad she doesn't even know what a podcast is, so she won't listen.
Probably best to keep it that way.
But they should sell these with a bra.
They should. In fact, you can get one because these are from Kmart.
And they sell bras right next door.
They do.
In the aisle next door. So how much are these at Kmart again?
I think they were $29.95, so it's quite affordable if you like a bit of hula hooping fun.
It's good for cardio.
Yeah, it does. It gets your heart rate up. You're up. You're moving.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else?
Hip mobility.
Hip mobility.
Yep. I think for me, this What the Gym actually has some street cred.
All right.
I'm going to rate it.
She's giving it cred.
I'm giving it the Fury rating of about 6 or 7.
Yeah,
depending
out of
10?
on
Depending on your age.
Nice.
Not something that I'll be taking to my personal training group quickly, but
All right, our second What the Gym.
Yeah.
We're powering through.
we are.
What are these?
I know exactly what they are.
What are they?
Completely useless.
be right in saying that.
Yeah.
But these are
Dumb.
not, well, yes.
Shall we explain exactly what they do?
Yeah, all
For
right.
those who are wondering.
So I got onto Temu and I found these and I thought this makes sense to me that the Chinese people would make them because they don't have a lot of space.
No, I can see that they're space saving, but my advice to anyone who wants to skip, because that's what they are for.
They're skipping ropes.
Yeah, no, I think they count.
Yeah, they count you.
Yeah,
I'm
careful.
so sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll just do one at a time.
That's right.
But let's say I'm
They're
jumping.
More of a martial arts type
Yeah.
of device.
Ah,
Yeah.
monkey
I don't
magic.
think you can do that.
But, yeah, no, these are...
Useless. As I said, I think that the main thing here is if you want to skip, which is actually quite healthy, and you find a space, get a rope and actually do it the old-fashioned way.
And there's some really cool skipping ropes. Actually,
Yeah.
there's this chick I follow on Insta. She does some dance moves and does it all to this really cool music. So, you can make a thing out of it.
Yeah, jump with someone. It is.
Yeah.
She's quite amazing.
Yeah, we'll try and find her.
Find her
and
and
pop her in our show
no,
notes.
she is. She's really amazing. And I actually advocate skipping. I think it's really good. It's relatively low impact. It can be.
Boxers do skipping, don't they?
Yes. Yep. And so I think that
Not this kind.
these are not on the skipping radar. That's right. Let's get rid of them, and I will rate those a 0. Zero.
What the gee?
Well, maybe a half, a 0.5, because if they get you out of their out of your chair,
You
then
might have had to get out of your chair to go buy it, but I got them on Temu, so I didn't have to get out of my chair. I literally just bought them in my
delivered
chair.
straight to your door.
Straight to my door. I kind of like Demon. All right, that's What's the Gym. What the Gym? Why do I always add an S to the what?
I don't know.
The What's the Gym.
That's right, because there was 2.
It was plural.
That was 2. What the gym? Where's the button?
Shut up your face.
Well, I think we've covered quite a lot this episode.
Oh, there was a stack in there. We have exercised some demons.
It's been like a therapy session.
Evangelist, poof, you're healed.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
I wanted to throw out a challenge there for you for the next fortnight. I would like you to, everything that you eat, to make sure that it does not exceed 15 grams of sugar per 100 grams.
Per 100 grams. Is that like each thing that goes into my dish or...
Everything. So we call those hidden sugars, yeah? So it would be like if you're making chicken, you pop some sauces and things like in, you might throw in some soy sauce, some hoisin or something like that.
Yeah.
Every one of those you need to look at.
And has to have under 15
Under
grams.
15 grams of sugar. Because in future episodes, we're going to have a look at what sugar does to us, what it does to our system, and, where
Can they
those...
do it too?
Where, yes, they can do it too.
Can you do it too?
Yeah, support Andrea on her journey. And I'd like to hear from you how easy or difficult that you found this, and how interesting your food choices had to be around that, and how you adapted.
Okay. If I got questions, can I text you?
You can text me.
Okay. She's going to wish she didn't say that.
Yeah, I really am.
All right, I'll report back next ep.
Fantastic.
15 grams per 100. Got
Look
it.
forward to it.
All right.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. And we hope you had fun.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye.